In 1908, the Young Turks Revolution freed all political prisoners in the Ottoman Empire, and Abdu'l Bahá, the eldest son of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, his successor and interpreter of his writings, was also freed from imprisonment. His first action after his freedom was to visit the shrine of Baha'u'llah in Bahá'í. In 1910, with the freedom to leave the country, he embarked on a 3-year journey to Egypt, Europe, and North America, spreading the Baha'i message. From August to December 1911, Abdu'l Bahá visited cities in Europe, including London, Bristol, and Paris. The purpose of these trips was to support the Baha'i communities in the West and to further spread his father's teachings. In the following year, he undertook a much more extensive journey to North America. This is the story of Abdu'l Bahá's remarkable journey to Montreal, the only city he visited in Canada. This was the city where May and William Sutherland Maxwell had established their home. Their charming house, 716 Pine Avenue West, on the slope of Mount Royal, which Sutherland Maxwell had designed himself, and at which Abdu'l Bahá arrived in the bright, moonlit evening of August 30th, 1912, is today the Baha'i Shrine for Canada. The devoted and selfless services of May Maxwell in Paris and the Canadian soil acted as a strong magnet to draw Abdu'l Bahá to Montreal, and until his departure on September 9th, 1912, he amazed and captivated the Canadian public and press alike. Abdu'l Bahá caught a train in Boston at 9 a.m. on Friday, August 30th, for Montreal, arriving there at midnight. He was met at the station by William Sutherland Maxwell. Reporters and friends packed the Maxwell's house waiting for him, and Mrs. Maxwell said that invitations and inquiries had been pouring in all day. He remained in Montreal for 10 days, living at the Maxwells, and then, despite their entreaties, moving into the Hotel Windsor. The friends and inquirers flocked around him throughout his stay. He spoke at meeting after meeting at the Maxwell home, and among other places at the Unitarian Church, at the St. James Methodist Church, and at the Socialist Club. On Saturday, August 31st, as he rode through the town, Abdu'l Bahá passed the cathedral. After going in to look at it, he told the friends, "Behold what 11 disciples have done, how they effaced themselves. I exhort you to walk in their footsteps. When a person is severed, he is capable of revolutionizing the whole world." That evening, after Abdu'l Bahá had granted scores of interviews all day long, another group was waiting for private talks. Because he was so tired, the friend suggested that the remaining people should leave and return the next day. He answered, "No, this is the time to work. We must not think of exhaustion or anything else. Let everyone come to me." On Sunday, September 1st, as he prepared to leave for the Unitarian Church where he was to speak, Abdu'l Bahá called one of the Persian friends to sit by him in the carriage. The friend replied that there was plenty of room on another seat, but Abdu'l Bahá insisted, "Come and sit here. When I see someone selfish and hankering after rank, I observe these formalities for his correction merely. Everyone may sit wherever he wishes. These things are entirely unimportant. At the breakfast on September 2nd, to which he invited a number of guests, Abdu'l Bahá said, "Come, we are in Montreal, Canada, in this home eating Persian pilau, which has been cooked by Mirza Ahmad and which has a taste and tale of its own. To be grateful for the blessings of God in time of want and trouble is important. In the abundance of blessings, everyone can be grateful. It is said that Sultan Mahmud cut a watermelon and gave a portion of it to Lias. Lias ate it and cheerfully and expressed gratitude. When the Sultan ate a little of the same watermelon, he found it bitter. He asked Lias, 'How did you eat such a bitter watermelon and show no sign of dislike?' He answered, 'I had eaten many sweet and palatable things from the hands of the Sultan, and I thought it very unworthy of me to express dislike on eating a little bitter thing today.' He concluded, 'Man who is immersed in the blessings of God should not be grieved if he sees a little trouble. He should not forget the manifold divine bounties that are always pouring on him.'" That same day, Abdu'l Bahá moved to the Hotel Windsor. When he prepared to return to the Maxwell's home for a meeting, the friends asked if they could call a carriage for him. Abdu'l Bahá took the streetcar, saying, "Oh, it matters little. It saves expenses. There is a difference of $1 in the fare." When he arrived at the Maxwells, he gave £1 to each of the servants. As the translations of the newspaper articles concerning his address at the Socialist Club were read to him on September 4th, Abdu'l Bahá said, "This is all through the confirmations of the Blessed Beauty. Otherwise, even if the King of Persia had come here, he would not have been able to attract such meetings." Mahmud recalled, "In the afternoon he came down for a ride in the automobile. We were in the attendance also. The automobile stopped at the foot of a mountain beyond the city limits. An elevator took us up. The mountainside was perpendicular like a wall. The beloved said, 'This hoist is like a balloon which flies in the air.' One felt nervous to look below. When we reached the top, the beloved walked to and fro. It was a magnificent sight. The whole of the city lay stretched before us. It seemed as if a beautifully painted picture were spread before the view." Here, the translation of additional accounts of the meetings published in the evening newspapers was read before him. Suddenly he cried out, "Baha'u'llah, may I be a sacrifice at thy feet. O Baha'u'llah, may I be offered up in thy way. What a wonderful cause you have founded. It satisfies every sect. Every sect testifies to thy greatness. In the churches, it excites a new commotion in the souls. It imparts spirituality to the spiritualists, makes Unitarians informed of the reality of unity, makes the socialists contented and grateful, and inspires joy and happiness in the breasts of the peace lovers. There is no sect or denomination which has any cause for sighing. One and all bow spontaneously before your majesty. It is a miracle. It is the greatest force of the world of existence. It is the assistance of the Blessed Beauty. This is the greatest miracle." Abdu'l Bahá also commented in discussing the warm reception of his address, "The greatness of the teachings of Baha'u'llah will be known when they are practiced. Not one out of 100 has as yet come into force. The entire trend of your thoughts should be turned toward bringing these blessed teachings into practice." On September 5th, the bishop in Montreal visited Abdu'l Bahá to express his pleasure at the meetings being held and his gratitude for the address concerning the purpose of the manifestation of Christ and the other holy manifestations. Abdu'l Bahá said, "Tonight I shall speak in the Methodist Church. You may come if you wish." On the evening of September 6, Mrs. Maxwell reminisced with Abdu'l Bahá. "At the time when I was visiting Accra, I despaired of the blessing of ever-possessing children. Praise be to God. My desire and your prayer at the holy tomb of Baha'u'llah were accepted, and I was blessed with a dear baby, Amatul Bahá Ruhiya Khanum." The Toronto Star Weekly wrote of him on September 7th in an article headed, "Abdu'l Bahā's Word to Canada." What is it that strikes one most in this remarkable man? Is it his message? Is it his power of thought, his manner of expression, the privations he has endured? No, it is none of these. It is his great sincerity. He is a man with a mission, and he believes in it with all his soul. There was wonderful breadth and depth of feeling in that sermon at the Unitarian Church in Montreal. It was not the message of a fanatic or a hermit, or a man unconversant with modern thought and modern life. It was Eastern, yet it was Western. He granted me an interview the following day. I then inquired if he intended to visit Toronto or any of the Canadian cities in the West, but he was afraid such would be impossible at the time. "But you may tell your people," he said, "that I am very pleased with your country. It is a prosperous and delightful land. Surely then you should thank the good God for all his mercies to you." He then took my hand in both of his and blessed me as a father would bless a son, with the same sincerity, the same depth of feeling, the same lofty purpose. For if this Persian dreamer, preacher, prophet is anything, he is sincere, and his sincerity springs from a great sense of love and fellowship for man. He is a humanist of a high type. His church is the world. "I cannot succeed," were his parting words, "without your help and the help of everyone who believes in the cause of universal peace and good fellowship among men." Abdu'l Bahá had taught and exhorted and given of himself during 10 days of ceaseless activity in Montreal. On September 8th, his last full day with the Friends, he said, "I have sown the seed. Now water it. You must educate the souls in divine morals, make them spiritual, and lead them to the oneness of humanity and to universal peace."